On February 28, 1992, there was a pay-per-view event called Clash of the Legends. It was old school, half-court, one-on-one basketball competition, except for who was playing. Kareem Abdul Jabbar versus Dr. J, a.k.a. Julius Erving, who had set up with some guys in Philly a business that put on the event. Great idea. Kareem was all aboard. Other NBA legends that participated in this were Rick Barry, George Gervin, Tiny Nate Archibald, and Connie Hawkins. It's too bad this didn't go on and on and on, because it would give a little more credence to possibly who is the GOAT individually, more so than the statistical analyses. So enjoy this interview from Larry King Live from about 2 weeks prior to the pay-per-view. It happened before the Magic Johnson retirement, so it had to be mid-month in February of '92. But they take calls. The best part for me was Kareem saying he wished he had been a pitcher. Can you imagine?
Welcome back to Larry King Live. Long before Michael or Magic or Larry, two men dominated the game of basketball. Julius Erving, known to the world as Dr. J, he revolutionized the game with daring dunks and scoring heroics. Kareem Abdul Jabbar, the most prolific scorer in NBA history. Time magazine called him the sport's greatest player ever. They're both in retirement now, both enjoying success. But they're going to hit the hardwood one more time for a one-on-one matchup billed as the Clash of the Legends. It'll take place at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City on February 28th. That's a Friday night. It'll be seen on pay-per-view TV. Julius Erving and Kareem Abdul Jabbar join us here in Washington. How did this come about, Kareem?
Well, last May I was sitting at home and I get a phone call from Julius, who said he had a proposition and a challenge for me. And it was had to do with playing one-on-one. He saw it as a great business opportunity, and he noted the fact that one-on-one really hadn't been put in front of the public in an effective way, and he thought that we had an opportunity to do that. And
did your mind say immediately yes?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Who gave the idea to you, or was it your own?
It took him a while to commit to playing. He said yes, he was interested, but he would think about it for a while, and then he thought and decided, yeah, I think I'd like that. Yeah, he put his due diligence into it.
Was it your idea?
I looked at some old highlights or whatever he had to do.
Your idea?
It came out of my office in Philadelphia, and we have a group of Philadelphia-based businessmen who created a company that wanted to get involved in closed circuit and pay-per-view productions. And this is the first production that we came up with that we felt we could own and be totally responsible for with respect to its destiny. And
how do you respond to the concept that it is gimmicky?
Basically, we say no, it's not. You know, we cite the factors that we are both training very rigorously for this. The other players on the undercard are also training.
There are other one-on-one games?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You'd like that?
Yeah. There's 50 minutes of basketball on the 28th. And we're going to play 20. We're going to play 4 5-minute quarters. But there will be 3 other 10-minute games via 2 5-minute halves. And the 4 other participants will be George Gervin versus Nate Tiny Archibald, Rick Barry versus Connie Hawkins. And then the winners of those 2 games will play one another, all as preliminary bouts before we go to the main event.
You like that concept. It's New York against everybody else.
Yeah, I do. I like you got me, and you're a New Yorker, so you know right what I'm talking about, right? This now, one-on-one played with what rules?
We're going to go NBA rules.
With a few modifications.
With a few modifications.
The guy who scores takes the ball out?
No.
Alternating possessions.
Alternate possessions. You can take the ball out. They'll have a mark like 12 feet from the hoop on the baseline, and then on the perimeter. We'd have to bring the ball out past the perimeter on a change of possession, like a missed shot or a steal or something like that.
Any double dribble allowed?
Earl Strom, the legend of officials, is going to call the shots. A lot of calls will be, you know, judgment, and other calls will conform to either NCAA or NBA rules. You know, there's not going to be any double dribbles. You don't have anybody to pass to. It's just like when you went out to the playground. If I walk out to the playground tomorrow No, if I walked out the playground tomorrow and I saw Kareem hanging out there, and I said, hey, big fella, let's go at it, or whatever. That's the type of game that we're going to play. Half court, you know, except the preparation is conducive to our own professional reputations and our professional pride. We're getting ready to go at each other. This is not a farce. It's not something that skeptics or critics should worry about, because it's not like we're trying to establish reputations. We already have them.
I gather. One-on-one, no foul shots, right?
Yes.
Oh, you will shoot fouls. See,
yes.
When we play one-on-one, you just took the ball out again. If you foul.
Well, we'll have the option of
you can decline
or take the possession of the ball.
If you're supposed to get a 2-shot situation or a 3-shot situation, if you're shooting from behind a 3-point line, then your option is to take it out or take the shots.
The aficionado would question, Kareem, why you agreed to this. Since Julius, being shorter, has an advantage in one-on-one because he's quicker. And usually they say in one-on-one basketball, the faster guy, and he's used to driving and going to boards, yours used to being under the boards, he's got the advantage.
Well, he does have an advantage. I have an advantage also. My size and reach will give me an advantage near the hoop. So we're going to have to try to see what we can do to minimize the other player's advantage and maximize our own advantage.
Is there a lot of strategy?
Not much. We're going to be out there all alone.
But I mean, you've got to be thinking about his moves. You two know each other pretty well. You played against each other lots of times.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. We're going to have to try to stop a great player at what he does best, and it's going to be
without help. I mean, that becomes the key, being able to do this without help. Kareem's been double and triple teamed, since he was in 6th grade. I've seen my fair share of double teams throughout my amateur and professional life, and it should be easier for us to operate against an individual, but that's what the challenge is all about. That's what the mystique is all about. Nobody knows for sure. There's no script here. There's no rehearsals. When I go on the court, I will have scrimmaged against a lot of players, big and small, but none of them will have been Kareem Abdul Jabbar or his caliber, and the same situation for him.
Do you think you have an edge?
I don't. The reason I don't think I have an edge is because I don't underestimate him. I've seen him grab rebounds, take it down the court, dribble between his legs, spin. I've seen him go past little men. 99% of the players he plays against are smaller, so obviously he can go around somebody smaller than him. So I'm not going to allow myself to get a false sense of security about the things that you cited as being to my advantage, because that's your personal opinion. But the guy down the street has a different opinion. He's clearly saying, or the kid in the commercial, he's saying, Abdul Jabbar, are you kidding? He's going to stuff the doctor. Well, February 28th, we have to find out who's going to stop who.
The doctor is 3 years younger.
Actually, I'll be 42 February 22nd, and that'll put me 2 years and a few months behind Abdul Jabbar.
That's
he, to his advantage, he only retired from basketball 2 years ago, whereas I've been out for 4 full seasons.
Are you in good shape?
So
yes.
No question about going full charge 20 minutes.
No. I don't want to end up like a couple of the guys did last Sunday.
Yeah, guys got injured in that All-Star game.
On the way to the operating room. And so I certainly didn't want that to happen to me, and I've been preparing for that not to happen, and so is Julius.
If this goes big, do you see it as a major ongoing feature, having recently retired players play each other in pay-per-view?
Well, I think it has even more potential than that. It could be a worldwide challenge. Basketball is becoming a big sport around the world. Why not have people from Europe play? Why not have a division for college players? Why not?
Not a bad idea. The Russians come in and play, and the Italians play the Americans, and
that's right.
This is true skill, one-on-one. There's no truer skill than that.
The game, a purist looks at the game, and certainly they look at the 5-on-5 game, and all the great coaches, John Wood, Adolph Rupp, whatever, they look at the game in a purist sense. The game has evolved for many years, and I remember Adolph Rupp once saying about me, when I grabbed an alley-oop pass in Freedom Hall and dunked it through, that this is not the purest approach to basketball, but this is not bad. But this is not bad. So the game continues to evolve. It continues to change. It's been around for 100 years, Larry, and people haven't seen everything that the game can offer. So I think Dr. Naismith would be pretty happy about what we're getting ready to do, because it's actually history in the making.
He'd be surprised and happy.
Who knows how big it can be.
Let me come right back with Dr. J and Kareem Abdul Jabbar. The event takes place February 28th at Trump's Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. It's on pay-per-view. There'll be two on the undercard. Be two early games. Get to see Rick Barry and Connie Hawkins again. That's not bad. And we'll come back and start taking your phone calls. Don't go away. We'll start including your phone calls for Kareem Abdul Jabbar, who everyone knows. If you don't know him from basketball, you know him from the motion pictures, the co-pilot. And Julius Erving, two basketball legends. Of the 6 men competing, 5 are in basketball's Hall of Fame. George Gervin goes against Tiny Archibald, Rick Barry against Connie Hawkins. The caller is from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Hello.
Yes, I have a question for Kareem and also for Julius Erving. Kareem, I'm wondering, do you have any future aspirations for playing any other pro sports? And Julius Erving, do you have any future political aspirations in the Philadelphia area?
Well, there's certainly no other pro sports that would have me, probably. And I really don't have any intentions of
volleyball?
One. No, please.
Did you ever play volleyball?
No, I didn't.
You'd be a killer in volleyball.
Really, I should have pitched. And that should have been my...
Pitched?
Oh, yeah.
That's right, you'd have been at the plate.
Well, I could throw the ball very hard, but there was a problem getting it over the plate. So, fortunately, basketball was there. And,
if you could have pitched, say, at 94, 95 MPH and thrown hard, would you rather pitched?
Probably. I really enjoyed the whole challenge of it. I was a Dodger fan, so I wanted to go up there and maybe one day be on the same mound that Nuke stood on, you know?
Political?
The answer is no. I don't have any political aspirations in Philadelphia or in any other city. In the last week, I have visited the new mayor of Philadelphia, Ed Rendell, and volunteered to be of assistance with my own individual platform in any way that I could, the same way I tried to do with Wilson Good or with Bill Green.
But you don't want to run for office.
But I have no desire to put myself in a position of becoming an elected official.
Or being rejected.
Or being not elected.
Las Vegas for Julius Erving and Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Hello.
Yes, how you doing?
Hi.
Both of you. So I'm curious, with the proceeds from this, what do you think you might do with it?
Well,
make money.
We did start this as a business project, and it is a business project for the DJ group. And Kareem and I have long been associated with a variety of charities, and we, in the ensuing months, without negotiation with him to bring him on board, we talked about a charity participating in our event. And then suddenly Magic Johnson happens, and it came to light that if we're going to give proceeds anywhere, it should be to AIDS research. So we've created a relationship with AMFAR out of New York, the American Foundation for AIDS Research, and also with Magic's foundation. And Kareem and I individually will make donations. The DJ group will make a donation, and all of the cable operators who are part of this, who are 50% of the whole deal, have agreed to make a donation. So we're thinking that at least 6 figures minimum will go to these two very fine organizations.
That's terrific. Are you going to be there Sunday when they retire Magic's number?
Yes, I am. I'm going to speak, in fact.
They were going to retire Magic's number Sunday at the Forum in L.A. Your impressions as to how he's handled all of this?
Well, I think he's trying to make as much of a positive out of it as he can. It's a very difficult situation for anyone to be in. And he just wanted to make sure that he could use his plight to raise awareness and warn people about the dangers. This thing is a threat to us all, and we've had too much of a attitude as a nation of complacency or a lack of compassion. And I think Erving's problem has really brought it home to us that this is definitely a threat to us all, and we should be doing something about it.
Should he play in the Olympics?
Will he play in the Olympics?
Should he?
I think so. I think he was voted to the team. He was The fans and the Olympic Committee would like for him to be there. Chuck Daly has said that he would like for him to be there, and certainly by his exhibition in Orlando last Sunday, I think the other players in the NBA would love to see him there representing our country. You know, David Stern has promised the world that they'll see something with this elite team that they've never seen before in basketball. And, you know, you might as well have a guy like Magic on board.
That was an incredible performance, wasn't it?
Totally unbelievable.
Yeah. You think, based on the injuries, they ought to stop the old-timers games?
Well, I think it's very difficult for guys in their 40s to play full court basketball without the proper preparation. And with the Legends Classic, I think these guys, you know, they go out and do a little jogging or a little treadmill work a couple of days before and shoot a couple of jumpers and then show up. And the mind is saying one thing, but the body is where it's at and where it's been. So in some instances, it really is an accident about to happen. And I think it's also a great endorsement to the format that we've created: half court, one-on-one, half court, 3-on-3. These are things where we can still use our skills, we can still enjoy the game, we can still be competitive.
You could do some half court 3-on-3. That'll be some good games.
Well, you know, down at the All-Star game, maybe that ought to be the move.
Yeah.
Maybe they like to get 24 players there. You can get 8 teams and just do a little tournament.
Got to take a break. Do you miss playing? Do you miss competition?
I don't. I miss my friends. The camaraderie really is what you miss. In professional sports, you have an opportunity to get and know people in a way that no other business offers.
But isn't it hard when the cheering stops?
I don't really feel as though the cheering stops because if you were really concentrating on the game, you really didn't hear the cheering. And
I mean the attention that
the adoration, being put on a pedestal or whatever. I don't miss any of that, man. I've been out longer than Kareem, and I can honestly say I haven't missed one day of playing the game of basketball on a professional level. And I think that was the commitment I made the year that I announced my retirement, that I would play through this season, and really that would be it.
Let me get a break. We'll come back with Dr. J and Kareem Abdul Jabbar. They go one-on-one on the 28th. Also, Gervin and Archibald, Barry and Hawkins. It's on pay-per-view. We'll be right back.
Magic down to Worthy, underneath, gives to Kareem, great pass, super. Oh, that's good. Johnson underneath, puts it up, and it's blocked by Woolridge. Great play to Magic, runs on to Worthy, underneath to Kareem, it's slapped up. Oh, with 21 feet out, shoots and misses, rebound to Kareem. Kareem gets the ball to Magic, gets a 4-on-3, Magic's in the middle, he'll go the distance if he can, and he can, he throws it in.
Get Sunday night at 10 Eastern, following the debate at 8 Eastern, a special edition of Larry King Live with Congressman Joe Kennedy and Newt Gingrich, and your reaction to the final debate before New Hampshire. Back to the calls for Dr. J and for Kareem Abdul Jabbar, and we go to Council Bluffs, Iowa. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
First of all, I'd love to say I love professional basketball as I do any professional sport. My question is, why pay-per-view as opposed to golfing? As an example, the Skins game. Get the networks to watch all the, pardon the phrase, old folks play golf after their regular season's over. Now you folks have to go pay-per-view.
You think the networks would have put up money for this? Might have?
Probably if we had approached them initially. You know, but there's always opportunities for that later on, I believe. I think, you know, as we mentioned before, the motivation in the beginning for our company was to explore this particular marketplace because we think it is the wave of the future, and we wanted to get our foot in the door.
Port Lions, Alaska. Hello. Are you there? Port Lions, Alaska. Apparently not there. We will go to Niles, Ohio. Hello.
Hello, Kareem. I have a question for you.
Go ahead. He can hear you.
Yes. You were in the movie Airplane, and I was wondering if you're going to be in any more movies or if you'd like to be in any other movies.
Do you like acting?
I enjoy acting very much. It's difficult to get parts. I'm on the other end of the spectrum from Danny DeVito and not being average height. So, you know, it's difficult to get parts. But I've also been involved in production work and have a project in the works that should get off the ground pretty soon. It's going to deal with the Negro Leagues when baseball was segregated.
Oh, a movie of the week, like?
No, we're going to do a feature film.
A full feature film on?
Full feature film, we hope. And we hope to have an announcement pretty soon as to it going into its first stage of development.
We'll be right back with our remaining moments with Julius Erving and Kareem Abdul Jabbar, with a reminder they're both going to be with us on the Larry King radio show in a little over an hour. If you don't get through tonight, you can call them there. The pay-per-view event is February 28th. We'll be right back.
For a transcript of Larry King Live, send $5 to Larry King Live Transcripts, Journal Graphics Incorporated, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203. Or call 303-831-9000.
We're getting one more call quickly. Gainesville, Florida, for Julius Erving and Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Hello.
Good evening, yes. Guys, are there any young pros or collegians that have caught your eyes that you see as future stars?
Any great young players?
Several. Shaquille O'Neal is...
Automatic?
That's an easy name to
Is
mention.
he automatic?
He's automatic. If he comes out this year, he'll be the prize pick of the draft, and you know, he's the next player of destiny, I believe. I think Christian Leitner certainly is a great player.
Thank you both very much. We'll see you in an hour on the radio.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Larry King Overnight, a repeat of Larry King Live. We hope you enjoyed tonight's sprightly session, and remind you that Dr. J and Kareem Abdul Jabbar will go at it February 28th on pay-per-view, the night of February 28th from Atlantic City. Check with your local cable operators. Tomorrow